Run it.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to tonight's broadcast of Western Boone football here on WBTV Sports. Tonight, we have the #1 ranked Western Boone Stars going up against the North Putnam Cougars, and it should certainly be an interesting matchup.
This is the first ever meeting between these two teams, and it comes in the sectional championship. North Putnam is looking for the first championship title since 2010. On the other hand, Western Boone is playing for their second straight sectional championship title under head coach Justin Pelly, who is one win away from 50 wins in his coaching career here at Western Boone.
And what a sweet win it would be to go back-to-back in sectionals and get the half-century mark in wins. The face-off for the sectional championship starts right now here on WBTV Sports.
Well, hello, good evening. Welcome to Western Boone Junior Senior High School for tonight's matchup between the Western Boone Stars and the North Putnam Cougars. The Stars have just taken the sideline, and North Putnam is on the other side. The first ever meeting between these two teams. Two heavyweight teams in the class of 2A ready to get things underway. The team captains are lining up now for the coin toss. We have, for the team captains for Western Boone, number 2, Devin Weekly, 18, Peyton Young, 5, Patrick Schallenberg, and 56, Sam Wilkinson. And on the other side, we got number 60, Austin Huffman. Number 55 for them, Luke Sanford. Number 44 coming in as well, Colton Thorson. And number 16 on the other side, Evan Davies, the quarterback. And Nathaniel, going to be a good matchup tonight. What do you think?
Western Boone comes into the game ranked #1, and North Putnam comes in unranked. So it'll be a good game, I believe. I mean, obviously it's sectional championship, so we'll see. Luckily, the weather's cleared up nicely for us here the past couple days. Aside from that Wednesday Halloween, we haven't really had any rain this week. So it's an upgrade on the field as to what we had faced last week, pouring down rain all game.
Yeah, last week it was just miserable, and the Stars had to rely on their rushing attack to pull out the win against the very tough Tipton Blue Devils. And we're ready to get things underway here. Western Boone comes back to the sideline, ready to get going, and the Cougars rally at the 50. Going to be an interesting matchup here tonight. The Cougars come into this one unranked, but they've made their way to the sectional championship, and Western Boone, the #1 team in 2A, looking to claim their second straight sectional championship. Looks like the return team for Western Boone is going to be ready to go out onto the field. I'm looking down the sideline. Cruz Washington and Joe Hendricks are in the mix right there, the two return men. Peyton Young is going to, I believe, stay on the sideline because he is the kickoff man. And Nathaniel ready to get things underway here. And the Cougars, a bit of a surprise story for them. They're coming off a 4-6 season. Made their way to their sectional championship. They haven't won one since 2010. Their team went to state. And how important would it be for them to capture this sectional championship here tonight?
Will definitely be a huge upset. Obviously, Western Boone coming in #1 ranked is the favorite, and everyone's just written off this North Putnam team. So we'll see how that happens tonight.
The North Putnam return team is out on the field right now. Peyton Young, the kicker and the safety for Western Boone, teeing things up. And we're about ready to get things underway here. Back to return at #1, we have Scott Proctor, wide receiver and defensive back. The junior standing at 5'9", 160 pounds. Also back to return, looks like number 23, Chris Murray. It's either 23 or 22. 22 would be Elliot Sabins. I believe it's Murray. Here we go, sectional championship action underway here. Young has it ready to go, and he tees it away right up the middle. Caught inside the 15-yard line by Scott Proctor. Proctor with a nice return, and he's hit hard. Slung down by Luke Kernodle just inside the 30-yard line. He might have got back to the 30. Nice return there of about 15 yards. by Scott Proctor, and he sets up a 1st and 10 for Evan Davies, a quarterback for the Cougars. Similar quarterback that Western Boone faced last week with KJ Raudebush, standing at 6'3", 180 pounds. He's got a lot of rushing touchdowns on the season. Looking at his numbers, 78 of 180 for completions, over 1,000 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He gets it done on the ground, 8 touchdowns for him on the ground. They come out in the gun formation. And the snap, they're going to hand it off up the middle. That's number 23, Chris Murray. Takes it upfield for about a 5-yard gain.
Chris Murray last week eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. He now stands coming in the game at 1,006. That obviously just bumped up a few yards there. But he is a 1,000-yard rusher now here coming into the game.
And that's good for Evan Davies. Takes some of the pressure off of him. Scott Proctor is the return man on that last kickoff. And right here we go. Back in the backfield, Murray. He gets the handoff delayed just a little bit, and the Stars defense is there. Caleb Freeman was there to sling him down. Just before he could reach the first down marker, it's going to be 3rd down. 3rd down at about 1. The Stars defense is going to have to rise up here, threatening the 3 and out for the Cougars.
Tipton, that's North Putnam. They're going to need another run similar to that where they just run it right up the middle and check out some yards here.
Here we go, 3rd down and 1. The Cougars march to the line here. They go back to the I formation. This is the first time we've seen them in the formation tonight. Back in the backfield is Murray. And here we go, fullback handoff right up the middle, and it looks like he has enough yardage for the 1st down. Gain of about 2 on the play. Across the 40, it's going to be marked down right at midfield at about the 41-yard line. That's going to set up a 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
Calling in any game, the rushing game and early is one of the most important aspects of football. This Western Boone team's so good at just running it up the middle over and over in the beginning of the game, and North Putnam's taken a little bit off their script there as they go and get the 1st down on the ground.
And here we go, Davies in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers split out to his right side, 1 to the left. He's going to drop back to pass, fires the left side, batted down at the defensive line. Right there, Josh Benson got his paw on the football, swatted away.
That pass was intended for number 11, Kevin Barger. He's a sophomore wide receiver for North Putnam.
And a scoring update coming in. Triton Central has scored. They're up 7-0 over Cecina. Cecina obviously the favorites in that one. They knocked the Stars out of the regional last season. Right here, Davies in the shotgun. He gets the big snap up ahead, and he's going to be brought down. No gain on the play, maybe a loss of about a half yard. Right there, Dietz Holdorf coming in to make the tackle along with a couple other Western Boone defenders. That's going to set him right back at about the half-yard line of the 41, and it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Colin, this is the first time these two teams have played high school football together. North Putnam and Western Boone coming to the game. First time so far in the history of these two schools.
Here we go, Davies. It's a crucial 3rd down play coming up. They picked up the 1st down earlier. Davies in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers split to either side. Murray leaks out of the backfield, and 21, Aiden Baker is in. And here we go, Davies slings it, caught on the slant route over the middle. That was caught by number 4, Colton Clifford. Clifford short of the 1st down, though. It's going to bring up 4th down.
He was brought down by number 33, Cortez Stoudemire for the Stars. He has 40 total tackles here coming into the game. That's number 41 for the junior cornerback.
Davies coming in right here. They're going to attempt the 1st down play. They're facing a 4th and 3. Davies in the shotgun. That trips formation out to his left side and 1 receiver to his right side. Ball's on the 48-yard line. Oh, and he bops it in the air, and then the ball is free. And it's scooped up by the Cougars, but nevertheless, it's going to be a turnover on downs right at the 40-yard line. Western Boone's offense, good position here so far to start it off.
It didn't matter who recovered the fumble because, as you said, it's 4th down. The ball would have been spotted right there for Western Boone anyway.
Wow, unbelievable play. Western Boone sent the house there, and now they get their offense out onto the field. Looking at their offensive stats, 1,571 pass yards and 21 touchdowns through the air. above 63 completion percentage, led by the young quarterback Spencer Wright. 88 of 135 for 1,540 yards and 20 touchdowns on the year. Right here, he's going to throw on first down. Caught by Joe Hendricks over the middle. Shied steps the defender. Goes down right at the 30-yard line. A big 11-yard play for the Stars, and that's a first down. Good catch by Joe Hendricks right in the body. Right, put it right on the money. Right here, trips, that's actually bunch formation out to the right side of Wright. Hand off to Washington, up the middle, breaking his way, free! Washington is gone, touchdown! Western Boone strikes first with only 2 plays on the opening drive.
Cruz Washington, number 12 on the season, rushing touchdowns. He's got 766 yards coming into the game, and that's what we've seen routinely throughout the year, is just the nice little the run right up the middle, and he just beats everyone there on the play.
And a nice run by Cruz Washington. Unbelievable speed for him. And here we go. The extra point pending for Elliott Young. Younger brother of Peyton Young. And right there he sends it through. And the Stars lead 7-0 here over the North Putnam Cougars. With 8:13 to go in the opening quarter. 2 plays later, Western Boone has 7 on the board.
That didn't take long calling. This team so far throughout the year have been able to put up a lot of first quarter points, put the game away early. We'll see how North Putnam responds.
Offense is very efficient for them. Looking at the rushing numbers, 382 carries total for the Western Boone offense, 2,874 yards. And looking at Washington's numbers, he's the leading rusher for this team, 75 carries for 766 yards, averages 10.2 yards per carry. He's had 3 games with over 100 yards. The most touchdowns scored in a game for him is 4. That was against Southmont in Week 7. That's his 12th
3-touchdown game.
That's his 12th rushing touchdown on the year.
He had a 3-touchdown game here. One of the last weeks back, he had the 80-yard return touchdown, followed by 2 straight rushing touchdowns before he went to the bench.
And Peyton Young right here is going to tee it up again. The Western Boone defense gave up a first down to the Cougars on their last drive, and then they stalled them right at about the 48-yard line, set it all the way back to the 40. 2 plays later, they were in the end zone. Let's see what the Cougars can do here. Now they're going to get the ball back. Back to return is Proctor. And 23, Chris Murray. Young, teed up, ready to go. Left legs it right into the middle. This one's going to be returned by Proctor right at the 15. And he's going to be brought down just before he could reach the 20. He's going to be brought down about the 18-yard line. Good coverage there from the Western Boone special teams.
It took Proctor a second to get going. After he recovered it, he kind of took 1 step back before taking the step forward. And he could have gotten at least 5 more yards there if he just took off right after receiving the ball.
So with 8:08 to go in the first quarter, 1st and 10 now for the North Putnam Cougars. And a 7-0 score here, Western Boone on top. Ball's going to be spotted right at the 19. This defense looking to try and keep them from getting a first down. This defense is one of the best in the state, if not the best. They barely give up a touchdown per game. Right here, Davies is going to drop back to pass. Pressure coming, hit as he throws, and the ball floats incomplete, broken up by Luke Marsh on the coverage. That was intended for number 12. That's Lucius Alexander. And he couldn't get his head around. Marsh was right there to bat it away.
Number 8 there, Luke Marsh was in on the coverage. Is able to get some nice coverage there, knocks the ball to the ground. Bit of a wild pass there, nevertheless.
A pressure coming from Dietz Holdorf off the edge of the defensive line on the right side of the screen. Here's Davies in the shotgun again, 2nd down and 10. That's a handoff up the middle and barreling his way over a couple of defenders. That's number 23, Chris Murray, with the run. Gains just a few on the play, probably about 3 or 4 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down, and Schallenberger was there to make the tackle.
That play was similar to the first 3rd down play we saw earlier in the game, where they handed off in the middle, and the quarterback went and just bootlegged to the left side, maybe trying to pull 1 or 2 guys out on the fake.
All right, here we go, 3rd down and 6. Ball's on the 24-yard line. Davies in the shotgun again. Claps his hands, drops back to throw. On the hitch route, it's caught. Benson with the tackle right there on number 12, Lucius Alexander. He was targeted earlier, and he's going to pick up the first down here.
Middle linebackers Weekly and Wethington were also in the area on the coverage as they came up to aid the team with a tackle.
The Cougars rush to the line of scrimmage right here. They're in the shotgun. Here's Davies. Western Boone showing blitz. They back it off with Weekly. Davies resets. He's got two receivers out to the right side, one to the left. And that's a delayed handoff up the middle, and working his way forwards, Murray. Murray is chopped down just before he could get about a couple yards on the play, and that's going to be second down at about 8.
Colin Cecina just scored back. Now the score stands Triton Central up 7-6.
Close game right there. That's going to be a close one. And if Cecina ends up winning that game, you know that Western Boone's going to look to get a little revenge if they win this one.
Western Boone's been keeping Cecina in their sights here since about midway through the season once they realized what kind of team they had.
Here we go, second down and 8 off the run from Murray. Shotgun formation. Davies going to drop back to throw. Batted away at the defensive line again. Too low on the coverage. Josh Benson was right there to get it away again. 2 swatted passes for him tonight. That's going to set up a third down and 8. Wow, if Davies is going to get his receivers open, he's going to have to put the football up there a little bit higher.
That's what the third pass that's been on the ground here so far throughout the game. Davies needs to improve his accuracy. He comes into the game with a 43.3% completion percentage. Not what you want to see from your quarterback.
Third down and 8 for the Cougars. Shotgun formation. Western Boone playing press coverage on the outside. Screen pass caught over the middle by Murray. Murray streaking his way forward for the first down, and he saved the tackle. Logan Benson was right there to chop him down at the feet, but nevertheless, it's a first down for the Cougars. It's a nice pitch and catch right there. Davies sold the fake. They got the screen. They got what they were looking for, blockers downfield. And right here we go. Western Boone once again playing a little press coverage on the outside. Davies in the shotgun with the Cougars. 2 receivers out to the right side, 2 to the left. Murray is in the backfield as well. Right here, Davies, quick throw, caught on the hitch route. Right there, chopped down was Proctor. Proctor was close to the first down yardage, but he's not going to get there. It'll be just about a yard short, second down and 1. So close right there. Once again, quick route by Davies. They pick up a big chunk of yardage, about 9 yards on the play. And right here, they're at the 44-yard line of Western Boone. First time they've been on the positive side of the field. They got close to it on their last drive, getting it about the 48 for the drive stalled. Tried to punt it away. It was blocked. Shotgun formation again. Murray with the carry up the middle, met by the Stars defense, and trying to drive the pile forward is Murray. Murray's going to go down, met by Schallenberger right there. And also in there, Devin Weekly, the middle linebacker, leads the team in tackles. Over 100 tackles for him on the season. Broke that century mark in the first round of sectionals against George Washington.
Devin Weekly was voted to the first team all-conference this week, so he's one of the first team players on this team, one of many.
119 total tackles for him on the season. He averages about 10 per game. And here we go. Here's Davies on first down. Right at the 40. Handoff once again up the middle to Murray. Murray is chopped down at the defensive line by Michael Rice. Michael Rice also starts on the offensive line, plays guard. He's been very key to this offensive line, the senior. Davies hasn't really been getting a lot of passes to get going, but the running game is certainly working out well for the Cougars. Here we go, second down. Second down and 8. Oh, and the ball is snapped, and the Stars defense comes rushing in, and a blown-up play. Miscommunication between the center and the quarterback, and that play is going to go for a big loss. Wow.
Number 21 getting up and just kind of limping around the pile. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. Hopefully he's okay.
Going all the way back.
Dazed and confused.
Going all the way back to the 46-yard line of Western Boone. That's a big loss, and it's third down. 3rd down and 14. Here we go, shotgun formation for the Cougars, and a timeout is going to be taken. They're going to take a timeout. We're going to take a timeout as well here in just a moment. Wow, big blown up.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So, where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
.17. There we go, got the picture back. 3rd down, 17, ball in the 46. Davies, drop back pass, pressure coming, and he gets rid of it. Ball is batted in the air, nearly intercepted by Cortez Stoudemire. Nevertheless, it's going to be a 4th down. And that's a good play there by the Stars defense to set up the 4th down. They held strong on the pass. They got pressure in the pocket. They nearly got to Davies, but nevertheless, it's an incomplete pass, 4th down.
4th down and long. I mean, you're going to have to throw a deep pass here, and we just haven't been able to see very many of these from the quarterback so far tonight.
Well, right here, they're going to elect to punt this one away after their last failed attempt to punt. There's a snap. Back deep is Peyton Young. That one was a high spiraling kick, and it's not going to really go anywhere. It's just going to take a drop inside the 40-yard line. Actually, inside the 30. That's going to be spotted right at about the 29-yard line. So Western Boone's going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 29. Good defensive play by Western Boone there to swat the pass away. And it was all led by that miscommunication between North Putnam center and their quarterback.
Yeah, that's the second one of the night. You can't do that if you're going to want to beat a #1 ranked team, Colin. Triton Central just scored another touchdown right now that brings the score 14-6. Triton Central ahead on Cecina.
Wow.
The winner of that game will face the winner of this game here tonight.
And right here, caught by Joe Hendricks. Oh, and he nearly lost the football, but he's going to get it spotted right at the 47-yard line. Good catch by Joe Hendricks. He's been targeted twice tonight, and he's hauled in 2 receptions.
It's got to be careful. I mean, I know he reached the ball to get some extra yards, but he was already past the 1st down marker. 1 or 2 yards wouldn't make too much of a difference. That could lead to a fumble if he's not careful, though.
And here's Wright on 1st down. Flings it once again. Oh, and Joe Hendricks was the intended receiver again. He was bashed by the safety. That's number 11, Kevin Barger. Going to get a replay here on the last play by Hendricks right here. Wright, clean pocket, quick pass on the seam. And Joe Hendricks is able to get it and reach for it. Gets the 1st down.
You could see that play was designed for Hendricks because as soon as the ball went into Wright's hands, he looked up and lofted one up Hendricks' way. Very great. That was a great play call there for Western Boone. Now
and here we go. Wright pumps down the field for Joe Hendricks. Hendricks tries to make the one-handed catch, but he can't haul it in. He was wide open, and he just got right under it.
That wouldn't have been enough for a touchdown because he was going out of bounds, but as soon as he caught that, if he got his feet down, that would have been a huge gain for Western Boone.
2:42 to go here in the 1st quarter. It's going to be 2nd down and 10, actually 3rd down and 10 off that incomplete pass from Wright to Hendricks. Hendricks targeted 4 times already tonight. He's hauled in 2 receptions.
Joe Hendricks was also voted the 1st-team all-conference team, as well as the center Casey Foster, quarterback Spencer Wright, defensive end Patrick Schallenberger, as well as the 2 middle linebackers, as we mentioned.
And right here, a flag on the play. And maybe Washington was a little bit in motion. False start on the offense is the call, so that's going to set Western Boone back another 5 yards. 3rd down and 15 coming up. Well, just like the Cougars' last drive, Western Boone facing a long third down, but instead of being a miscommunication, they end up getting the penalty. Here we go. Let's see if they try to go deep once again on those routes. Nathaniel, they've had success in getting receivers open. They just got to catch the football. North Putnam showing blitz on the outside right. Drops
open
back.
Right side. It's going to him.
Oh, Joe's got it, and Hendricks is going to be chopped down on the other side of the 50, right at about the 48-yard line. Not enough for the first down. And it looks like Western Boone's going to try to attempt this first down. They're facing a 4th down and about 5.
Joe Hendricks is gripping his left hand there on that last play I was looking for him. He's standing in the slot at the top of your screen, and he just wasn't covered there in the underneath pass.
Here we go, right on 4th down and 5. 2 receivers split out to his right side. They're in the pistol formation, and a timeout is taken by Western Boone. It looks like Pelly didn't like what he saw out there, so they're going to take the timeout. Comer's going to talk it over with his guys, and we'll see what happens. So with 2:05 to go here, Western Boone takes their first time out of the game, and we're going to take a break as well.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana, no matter what their goals might be? Study hard, always do your best, and if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message.
And welcome back here. Western Boone facing 4th down. They're going to elect a punt there. They tried to come out in the offensive formation on 4th down. They took a timeout, elected to talk it over, and looks like the final result will be a punt. Here's Peyton Young, boots it away. Nice spiraling kick, drops inside the 10, and it's going to go out of bounds. Nice punt there from Peyton Young. They're going to spot them right at the 11-yard line. The Cougars take over first and 10.
Central just went up again. They leading 21-6 now against Cecina. Cecina was coming into the game as a huge favorite, so we'll see how the rest of the game pans out. Triton Central already up.
That's unbelievable. Triton Central taking it to the house against the number 2 ranked team in 2A, Cecina. Cecina was a big threat this year. It looks like right now they're having their hands full with Triton Central. Well, here we go. Let's see what Davies can do. The rushing attack for the Cougars was their key to their offensive success throughout their second drive. Their first drive stalled at the 48, and then their second drive all the way into positive territory before a miscommunication between the center and the quarterback set them back to a long 3rd down. An incomplete pass on 3rd down set up the 4th down. They punt it away. They hold Western Boone's offense before they get the ball back. Right here, Davies in the pistol formation. He's got 2 receivers out to his right side. And right here, the inside handoff stacked up at the defensive line by Western Boone. Murray had nowhere to go. The Stars' defensive front is all over it with Michael Rice and Deeds Holdorf coming down to make the tackles. Devin Weekly was also there to make the stop. Unbelievable amount of tackles he is able to get involved in, Nathaniel. It seems like he's involved on every play on defense.
Yeah, and he does have almost 19 tackles for a loss and 5 sacks. Leads the team in both of those categories, so he's a big leader for this team.
Here we go, 1:22 to go, 2nd down and 10 off the run from Murray. Clapping his hands as Davis. Davis throws it, and it is a nice catch right there by Lucius Alexander. Right on the short post route. Gets close to the first down, not going to be enough for it. It's going to be 3rd down right at the 19-yard line. And they're going to hustle up to the line real quickly here. Shotgun formation for the Cougars. 2 receivers split out to either side. Inside handoff again to Murray. Murray is stacked up, nowhere to go. Drops him for a loss. It's going to set up 4th down.
Obviously, that last catch went to number 12, Alexander. He leads the team in receptions. That was number 26 for him. 283 yards is 2nd on the team. 11 yards per catch and 3 touchdowns here so far on the year.
Looks like the Western Boone defense is going to hold them to a 3-and-out. Most of their offensive unit goes off the field, and here comes the punt team.
"21 seconds and dropping." First quarter play.
Ready to punt it away. He gets it. Young is back to get the punt, drops right at the 45, and he's not going to field it. He's going to let it roll into their own territory. He's going to roll back to about the 43-yard line of Western Boone. They'll take over 1st and 10. 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. Western Boone on top 7-0 so far here. Let's see what they decide to do on this play.
That punt was down by number 15, James Shutdown Duncan, as they call him, and he's a senior. It's a nice heads-up play as he downs the ball after it's done rolling.
Here we go. Let's see what Wright and company decide to do on 1st and 10 here with 6 seconds left in the first quarter. Washington is in the backfield in the pistol formation. He's going to get the carry, working his way out to the right side, and he is upended right at about the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Maybe a loss of about a half yard. It's going to be 2nd down. And that's the end of the first quarter here. And the Stars are going to face a 2nd down and 11 when the second quarter opens up. We're going to take a break here. You're listening to high school football on WBTV Sports.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back here to Western Boone High School. The Stars lead 7-0 over the North Putnam Cougars. And that touchdown credit to Cruz Washington breaking away into the end zone just on the second play of the opening drive for Western Boone. And it seemed like they were going to dominate that first quarter, but a good defensive stand so far here from the Cougars. And just right as the first quarter ended, they got a 1-yard loss play against Cruz Washington. Tried to take it to the outside, chopped down. I'm sure he won't be contained for very much longer, though. He's usually run wild over a few teams that we've seen, Nathaniel.
Cruz has been up and down throughout the season. He's been solid throughout the year, but he's had really big games. He's had big games, and he was voted the second-team all-conference team this week.
Yeah, right here, Wright's going to keep it, throws to Luke Kernodle, the tight end, on the bubble route to the outside, picks up about 4 yards on the play, gets out of bounds maybe at about the 45-yard line. It's going to set up 3rd down.
Kernodle comes into the year with 22 receptions. That's number 23 for him. He's got over 230 yards, 10 yards a catch, and 5 touchdowns so far throughout the year.
Here we go, Wright on 3rd down. Drop back to pass, looking, fires deep down the field, caught by Logan Benson. Inside the 30-yard line, he hauls it in, right in the breadbasket. Nice pinpoint pass there from Wright.
We've seen a lot of those amazing passes from Wright so far throughout the year. He played, the last 3 games of his freshman year, started all of sophomore year, and now he's just coming out of his shell and doing a great job so far throughout this year.
Here's Washington right up the middle. And he's going to churn out about 3 yards on the play. It's going to set up a 2nd down and 7.
Spencer Wright broke the passing yards record last year after those the last 3 weeks that he played his first freshman year. So he's been very solid here this year and last year.
And here we go on 2nd down. Throws it over the middle, and it's caught. That's Logan Benson again. He's been targeted twice, hauled in 2 receptions. And it looks like he's close to the 1st down marker, and they're going to give it to him. 1st down for Western Boone.
He was tackled by number 15, James Duncan. Duncan comes in the game with 45 tackles, 26 solo, 17 assisted.
Washington goes to the outside. Washington's going to get the reception on the outside. Nice blocking in front of him. He's got a hole.
Easy.
Touchdown. Washington with his 2nd touchdown of the night. This is his first receiving touchdown on the season.
That was a great play call. Cruz comes out of the backfield, lines up in the trips formation and just uses his speed to get past anyone, untouched into the end zone.
Wow, all right, Cruz Washington, of course, going to get it done here. He's a little upset about not getting that first-team all-conference call, but he's going to take that and use it as motivation, knowing him. And right here, Young with the extra point. That one flies up, flutters through for one extra. So Western Boone takes a 14-0 lead here over the North Putnam Cougars in the sectional championship. Looking at that play right here, Washington right there at the bottom of your screen. He gets it. He's got good blockers in front. Nice job blocking by the receivers. He found the hole using his speed to get to the corner of the end zone. Breaks in for 6.
Completely untouched.
Wow. The sectional championship here. Already Western Boone starting off hot in the second quarter. The touchdown on the board. They scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter. They come out and they sling the ball down the field. They get in.
Last week, Western Boone beat Tipton 28-20. It came down to the wire, but they were able to pull out the 8-point win and move on to this game tonight.
Tipton, they faced Tipton in the second round last season as well, on their way to their first sectional championship since 2001. Right here, they're facing a team that hasn't won a sectional championship since 2010. I talked to one of the North Putnam crew members earlier. He told me he was a member of that 2010 North Putnam State Championship team, and he said just the camaraderie they had together really is what solidified that run. Also, new head coach Sam Carnes taking over this season off a 4-6 record, turned them into a 9-3 team. Led them all the way to the sectional championship. Right here, that kick is away inside the 30-yard line, returnable, and right there it's blown up. That's returned there by number 30. That's Caleb Lawrence. Lawrence gets them up across the 30 down to about the 36. And here comes the Western Boone defense. Nathaniel, this defense for Western Boone has been phenomenal all year. And tell me a little bit more about them.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, they're holding teams to an average of just 1 touchdown a game, and that's phenomenal. They were last week, Tipton's high-powered offense only scored 20.
Yeah, right there, slowing down number 23, Murray. Murray goes down. A nice tackle once again from Devin Weekly and Andrew McEntee to get in there.
20 might sound like a lot, but this Tipton team is accustomed to beating teams by 40, 50, 60. They even had a 70-point game, if I remember. So holding a team like that down to 20 points was a big part of why Western Boone's playing here tonight.
Yeah, and usually they only gave up 20 points to one other team. That was the rival Lebanon for the conference championship title. And right here, Davies going to go over the middle. That one's caught. Nice catch right there by number 4, Colton Clifford. He's wrestled down by 33, Stoudemire. But there's a penalty flag down in the backfield, right about the 34-yard line.
That was a nice tackle by Stoudemire. His 41st of the year, 26 solo and 14 assisted.
Wow, they got Western Boone with another penalty. Western Boone's defense had a few penalties on them last week against Tipton in the final drive of the game for the Blue Devils, which led to a touchdown, which made it a one-score ball game.
An update on the Triton Central-Scecina game. Triton Central right now is up 21-13 with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Thank you, Andy Hoskins, for the scoring updates here throughout the year.
Still a very close one. Scecina is one of those more dangerous teams in 2A. They can fight their way back into a ball game very quickly. Triton Central, you don't need to play not to lose. You play to win.
Triton Central, they did lose a couple weeks ago. They lost their starting running back to an ACL injury. And right now, being up on Scecina, I mean, that can't be too big of a loss there. I'm sure they're able to have a lot of depth players come up and perform the way, a lot like Western Boone's been able to. Haven't had a whole lot of devastating injuries, but we've had a lot of depth, a lot of guys coming in and scoring for this team.
Wow, a big loss of yardage on that play. And one play is going to give them an insane amount of yardage. All the way down on the other side of the 35. All right, here we go, out of the gun. Play action. Davies hit as he throws. It's intercepted! Intercepted by Connor Hull. One-handed grab.
Right when it looked like North Putnam had it going, Connor Holt just snatches that one out of the air. A very good play by him.
Wow.
That's Connor Holt's third of the year, yeah.
What an athletic play by Connor Hull. See if we can get the replay on that one. Here we go. Once again. Try it. Here we go.
We're having some
a little technical difficulties with the replay, of course. You know, technology, you can never get used to it. We'll figure it out, though. We'll take a look at the replay after this play here from Western Boone. Here they go. First down and 10 out of the pistol formation. Here's Wright dropping back to pass. Fires to the other side of the field, and it's dropped by Logan Benson.
All right, we'll give this another shot. Nope. Yeah, we'll give up. I'm not really sure what's going on with our computer.
It's weird.
Technical difficulties.
Weird thing going on with the replay, but nevertheless, great play by Connor Hull to make the one-handed interception, set up Western Boone. Second down and 10. Here we go. Wright with the keeper, shakes a defender, running with one hand on the football. Very dangerous run for him. And Wright's going to pick up a few yards on the play to make it third down. Tackle down by Alexander of the Cougar defense. Looking at Lucius Alexander, 43 solo tackles on the year for him. 26 assisted as well. Here we go, third down. Washington straight up the middle, picks up the first down yardage for the Stars. Hard running from Cruz Washington.
Washington does most of his damage running just right between the tackles. For as fast and shifty as he is, I feel like Western Boone would want to get him more to the outside and let him create space on his own. But nevertheless, he gets huge gains just running right up the middle. Very impressive year so far throughout the Lebanon transfer.
Here we go on first down. Washington with a carry again, trying to work his way up. He gets across the 35-yard line down to the 36. Nice first down run there by Cruz Washington.
Connor Holdemain, who got the interception earlier, was voted to the second team all-conference, as well as tight end Luke Kernodle, wide receiver Logan Benson, defensive end Dietz Holdorf, and safety Peyton Young.
Bunch formation out to the left side of Wright. Here we go. And caught by Noah McClendon over the middle, trying to shake his way through a couple of defenders, and he drags them along across the 50 down to the 47-yard line. It's Noah McClendon's first reception in a while. He had a few in the first round of sectionals against George Washington. He didn't have any last week, and this week right here, targeted once, hauls it in for the first down. Western Boone comes to the line quick.
McClendon did have one 13-yard reception last week against Tipton.
I must have missed that one, but here we go. Washington on first down. He probably picks up about a couple on the play. It's going to bring up second down and about 8, stacked up nicely by number 9. That's Skylar Warren.
McClendon does have 14 receptions on the year, over 200 yards, 15 yards a catch, no touchdowns yet. So we've seen him a lot with just 1 or 2 receptions a game, and he's been very effective with those few opportunities.
And here we go. Wright pumps once, looks down the field, directing traffic. He's going to take off. Spins his way forward for the first down. Nice athletic run by Spencer Wright, dual threat quarterback much. He hasn't really ran for a lot of yards on the ground. He's just close to that 400-yard mark on the ground, but right there using his legs to get the first down, keep the drive alive.
He's got almost 400 yards, as you mentioned. However, he's done this all on 60 carries by now after these couple carries so far throughout the game.
Here we go. Benson out the outside as Hendricks shakes the defender. He's gone. Touchdown. Joe Hendricks on the bubble route. Wright finds him for his second touchdown of the game. That's Joe's first receiving touchdown in this one. The other two held by Washington. Wow, nice athletic play right there.
And right now, just with 8 minutes left in the second quarter, Western Boone already is going to be threatening 21-0 against North Putnam.
And here we go. Let's see if Young can make it a 21-score game. It's up. Automatic he is. Morton Anderson out there. He puts one more on the board. 21-0 score here.
Well, I don't know why you'd mention Morton Anderson. He's no longer the scoring leader. You've got Adam Vinatieri, hometown boy.
Yeah, I forgot.
Who's now leading the history of the NFL in points and field goals made.
Congratulations, Adam Vinatieri. Always been one of my favorite NFL players. Even though you're a kicker, great to watch out there. Love seeing the old guy get it done, showing all the young people how it's done.
What is he, 45, 46 now?
Yeah, just about. Well, right here, North Putnam finding themselves in a hole. Down 21-0 to the Western Boone Stars, looking to capture their second straight sectional championship. Looking at some other scores here, Shenandoah up 14-7 over Lapel in the second quarter. Thanks again, Andy Hoskins, for the score update. Just 8:11 to go here in the second quarter. 3-touchdown game for the Stars, right, with 2 passing touchdowns. One of them to Cruz Washington, the other one to Hendricks. Hendricks.
All right, Colin, you're going to be up soon. Go ahead and just start from where you would.
All right, all right. All right, welcome back, people. Sorry about that. We're going to try to get everything figured out here for you. Just more technical difficulties. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us, and, of course, always happens whenever it's a big game. But right here, there is a timeout on the field. Injured player is down. We're just going to step aside here for a moment. And for those of you asking, Western Boone actually did not score. It is 21-0. And the pass was picked off in the end zone, so you didn't really miss much while you were all gone.
Okay, or fix anything you need to from the scoreboard. Calling the run. All right, I believe we're back now, Colin.
All right, here we go. We're back here. And yes, Western Boone, once again, the update. To fill you in on what you missed, Western Boone's pass was picked off in the end zone on trying to run a trick play. It was brought back out by the North Putnam Cougars, and now they're driving down the field on the Western Boone defense. They just completed a pass earlier. They're set right down at the 43-yard line. Western Boone showing blitz here. It's second down.
Quick little update from Andy Hoskins right now. Triton Central's leading Cecina 27-7, trying to pull off the upset.
Oh, right there, pass incomplete. Luke Marsh was there on the coverage, and that's going to bring up third down.
And as I mentioned, everyone's been looking forward to the potential Cecina rematch in the regionals, and it'd be interesting to see whether they'd want Triton Central or Cecina. I haven't really asked any of the players this week, but everyone's just written Triton Central off, just expecting Cecina to win that game, and right now they're down by 7.
And here we go here on third down. See what the Cougars decide to do here in the gun formation. 3 receivers split out to the left side. Looking left, firing left is Davis. Makes the catch. Nice diving catch by Colton Clifford. That's going to set up the first down for the Cougars. Western Boone's defense not able to hold them there to make the stop.
Clifford's the number 2 man on that team in receptions. That's his number 17th of the year. Over 300 yards, 20 yards a catch, and 3 touchdowns coming into the game. He had an electric catch of 59 yards earlier in the season.
And here we go here, first down and 10 off the pass completed to Clifford. Right here, drop back is Davis. Davis throws it down the middle. Oh, and it's batted down. Trying to make the catch was Scott Proctor, and he had pressure coming from Peyton Young and Connor Hull, the safeties right there getting in the mix. Well, that's going to bring up a second and 10 right there. Good coverage from the Western Boone defense. Able to break up the pass.
Last week our stream hit, was it
4,000, yeah, about 4,300. And we didn't barely have any problems with the technology last week, but apparently this week it decided to kick in on us. Oh boy. Going down the field, intercepted by Logan Benson. On the run back is Benson. There he goes, gets a block down the field, and he's stopped by Davis going out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Nice return. The third interception of the game for Davies comes up big for Logan Benson. Wow, Davies just tried to put it on the money, and he couldn't get it. Just bad decision to go deep against this Western Boone defense. Here we go, right in the pistol. Hand off to Washington. He breaks the tackle to the outside, trying to get up to the left side. Got blockers in front of him, and he turns what would have been a 5-yard loss into a positive play for the Stars. Wow. Washington, just a freak athlete in that running back position, just able to get to the outside and avoid the stack box by the Cougars to try and stop the run. Wow, just unbelievable. Here we go. In motion is Kernodle. Kernodle goes to the outside trying to stiff arm a defender. He's going to be wrapped down for a loss. Number 24 right there, Jordan Pope, slung him down.
Well, Colton, that just negates what I just call you Colton, I'm sorry. Colin. That just negates what Cruz Washington, the 5-yard gain he just got, brings it back. Now they're set up 3rd and long.
Well, thanks, Nathaniel, for remembering my name. I remember I did spell your name with an E, though.
It is spelled with an E,
Oh,
Colin.
well, an A. I meant an A. My bad.
Yeah, I got a lot on my plate right now trying to figure out all these technical issues. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Hey, you're doing a good job. You know, Finch, you've started this broadcast up. You built it up, and you've really done a lot with the equipment here. I know as we're still working out the kinks as the season goes along, and basketball season is going to be real interesting. We're going to definitely try to do every basketball game that we possibly can.
Yeah, we're eyeing to do most, if not all, of the boys' games and maybe throw in some of the girls' games, a lot of the important games. If we've got free time to broadcast some of those, it'll be interesting to see how the technology treats us there at our home court in the gym. And
right here we go. Right. Keeps it to the outside, breaks a tackle, gets close to the first down marker. He might have stepped out of bounds just before he could get there. Probably a big gain on the play, about maybe 6 or 7 yards. That's going to set up a fourth down. Let's see if Pelly will try to go for it here.
Well, fourth short, deep in North Putnam's territory. I would bet almost everything that these guys are going to go for it on fourth down, seeing what they've been doing so far here throughout the season, and it looks like they will.
And right here we go, 4th down and 4. Western Boone trying to get the first down. Right pumps once, fires it deep to the end zone. He's got a man open. Touchdown, Joe Hendricks. Hendricks makes it a 27-0 game. Nice reception from him. Second touchdown catch of the night.
Busted coverage. He gets a wide open shot to the back side of the end zone. And I told you, the way he's been playing, he's on pace for more than that one touchdown from earlier. And he gets his second. Him and Washington dominating the game.
Wow. And that's Spencer Wright's 3rd touchdown pass tonight. Trifecta for him. 1 interception to his total, not his fault though. I believe he has 1 interception. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to go back and look, but that's right about when we lost the visuals. So I was paying more attention to that than I was the action going on, but it was picked off in the end zone right there. 28-0 score here. North Putnam down to the Western Boone Stars, looking to take this sectional championship in a heavyweight fight.
Spencer Wright's been phenomenally efficient with this ball coming into the game. He's had 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That number jumps up to, 22. That's 23 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Very impressive year for that young man, Spencer Wright.
Wow, impressive for him. He's been impressive all year long. And looking at Wright coming into this game, his numbers, he has his most touchdowns in a game this season is 4. That was against Crawfordsville in Week 3. He hasn't thrown more than 1 interception in a game. And looking at his interception totals, 4 interceptions. That is the total standing tonight, and 23 touchdowns on the season for him through the air. In his career, he led the Stars to their first sectional championship in 16 years as a sophomore, 3 touchdowns away from the 50 mark on his career. And actually, he's broken the 50 mark for touchdowns tonight. Came into this one, he had 49 for his career, so he's over 50. He has 4,471 career yards on 305 completions, 61 completion percentage for his career. He set the record for most passing yards in a single season with 2,477. He's approaching a lot of school records with a lot of time left. And right here we go on the return for North Putnam, slung down across the 30-yard line down to the 32.
Quick little update, Shenandoah is tied with LaPel 14-14.
And looking at the score of the Triton Central and Cecina game, Triton Central up 27-20 at the half. Boy, that one is becoming a real close one. Cecina hasn't allowed a lot of points on the season. They haven't really let anybody mess with them, but Triton Central's really came out and punched them in the mouth. Took a big lead there early in the first quarter, and then throughout the second quarter they've continued to fight. And here we go to the outside. It's caught and brought down. Number 23 right there, Chris Murray on the outside. He goes down just before he could reach the 40-yard line. He's going to be slung down right at about the 38. That's going to be second down. Big gain on the play for Murray. Here we go. Second down and 4. Davies in the shotgun, drops back to pass. Pressure coming, throws it, and it is nearly caught. Falls just incomplete, just short of Colton Clifford. Tried to make the reception.
The final standings on the IHSAA coaches poll at the very end of the regular season, Western Boone is on top, obviously number 1. Cecina is number 2, and Triton Central not far off at number 4. So the 2 seed and 4 seed going up against each other. Still, everyone believe that Cecina is the heavy favorite for that game. We'll see how the second half pans out for those 2 teams.
And for those of you who are having audio trouble, we'll try to get it figured out here. Just a moment right here. 3rd down and 4 on the outside. It's caught by number 23, Chris Murray. Murray's going to be brought down short of the first down. It's going to set up 4th down.
Triton Central up 27-20, as we've mentioned a few times. Triton Central right now is in scoring position there towards the end of the half.
Man, Triton Central. Man, that'd be interesting if Western Boone doesn't have to play Cecina this year. Western Boone had their sights set on Cecina. Most likely both teams had their sights set on each other looking into the regional, but right now it doesn't look so good for them.
Only one half to go, though. Don't jinx the game, Colin.
Yeah, I know.
Plenty of football to play.
Always. Right here, Young on the return, gets
Late
a block
catch.
out in front of him, and he gets all the way back up to the 50-yard line, midfield, down on the far side hash mark, just right at the numbers.
Most guys would just let that one roll to the ground and be down, but Peyton Young is not most guys. Very aggressive. He takes it up after a delay. Everyone thought he'd just drop it. Instead, he returns it and runs it to the 50-yard line. Great play by him.
And, well, here we go with 47 seconds left to go. 1st down and 10 at the 50-yard line. Wright and company need to drive length of the field to get to pay dirt. Off the last touchdown pass to Joe Hendricks. Wright set a lot of career numbers on that last drive. Right, here we go. Out of shotgun caught by Kernodle on the outside, and he is chopped down across the 50. And he's going to be brought down about the 47-yard line. Kernodle with another reception tonight.
Kind of looking forward to basketball. We won't have to bring this hot spot out and rely on just AT&T signal. We'll have our reliable school signal.
Oh, and a nice catch there by Logan Benson into double coverage. He goes up and he gets the football using his hands. Wow. Logan Benson has made a lot of difficult catches throughout this sectional. He's done a great job being a big-time target in big-time situations. Right there sets up the 1st down across the 40-yard line down to the about the 47-yard line. Here we go. Right in the pistol formation. Drops back pass, steps up in the pocket. Looking, escapes, fires deep down the field. He's got a man open. Call! It's nearly caught by 87, Noah McClendon. Tried to make the diving catch, and it falls right through his forearms.
Colin, you were talking about Logan Benson's contributions so far throughout the game. Last game, he had 3 receptions for a big 53 yards, led the game, almost 20 yards a catch and a touchdown. I do remember a big 26-yard touchdown where he ran similar to what Joe Hendricks' first touchdown was, second touchdown that is, where he just runs to the far backside, lands one right in the breadbasket from Spencer Wright.
And here we go, 2nd down and 10 with 14 seconds left until half. Western Boone on top 28-0 right here. 2nd down throw, caught out of the backfield by Washington. Washington stutter steps a little bit right at the 40, and he's going to go out of bounds. Shed some time off the clock there, about 8 seconds. It's going to be 6 seconds showing on the clock until halftime, and that's going to set up a 3rd down. No gain on the play for Washington out of the backfield.
Now, Colin, we're doing something a little different here. This is not towards you, but to the fans. Everyone watching, we're not just going to leave the mic up during halftime. We've actually got a quick little halftime interview for you. That'll come up shortly.
Yeah, I sat down with head coach Justin Pelly and he answered some questions I had, and stick around for those. That'll be playing during halftime right here on 3rd down. Right, drop back, and the whistle's blown, and it looks like it's going to be a false start. Yeah, it will. Well, that's a 5-yard penalty against Western Boone, not something they needed. And now 5 seconds showing on the clock. Whole second ticked off. Let's see what they decide to do here on a long third down, right at the 45-yard line on the far side hash mark. They're going to adjust the clock a little bit. So we're going to bump it up just a second.
That'll probably move the scoreboard 6.6, yep.
Well, facing a 3rd down and 17 with the ball on the 45. And it looks like they're just going to kneel this one out and go into the locker room with a 28-0 lead here in the sectional championship.
Triton Central, Colin, was not able to score. I said they were in scoring position, so instead they're going into halftime 27-20, and I'm sure that's welcoming news for this Western Boone team once they head into the locker room.
Yeah, I'm sure Pelly will probably try to keep that from his guys, not let them focus on that game too much. They've got a sectional championship to win, and Pelly looking for his 50th win here. We're going to take a short break. We're going to actually keep it right here. Western Boone throughout that first half was just on fire throughout the entire game. Offensive efficiency has been the key, right? Getting the ball downfield to the receivers, getting open. And Joe Hendricks caught a couple touchdown passes tonight. And Washington hauled in one as well, and he also rushed for the first touchdown of the game. And it's unbelievable efficiency from them. We're going to take a break here for halftime. Please stick around for this coach's interview here on WBTV Sports.
Hello and welcome to the halftime show here on WBTV Sports. I'm Colin Boone, sitting alongside Western Boone head coach Justin Pelly. Pelly, tell me about the season so far. How do you feel about what you guys have been able to accomplish?
We take it one game at a time, and so far, that's worked out 11 times in a row. We're 11-0. We feel like we're doing a lot of good things on offense, defense, special teams, getting a lot of kids involved, which I think is really cool. And, we start the season, we're going to take this one thing 1 week at a time, and then in the end, we'll kind of lift our head up and see what happened. That's kind of how we look at it. Keep our head down, do what we do, and then in the end, hopefully we like the result.
You have a great quarterback, Spencer Wright. How has it been to coach him and watch his development over the years?
Spencer's been great. Last year had him as a sophomore and could kind of bring him around kind of early because he played the last 3 games of his freshman year, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but it really helped get him some experience. And then last year he was the guy, all through the season, and it really – I had to get his mind in my mind, and we had to, be on sync there so he sees what I see and we're able to – kind of take that out of the field. So he's been able to do that. He broke the season passing yardage last year, and he's not even close to that this year, but that's a good thing. That means, last year we depended on him a lot more than we have to this year. We have so many other guys stepping up for us, running the ball. He's about 1,000 yards short of where he was last year, but that means we're able to run it, and it's been pretty successful so far.
Tell me about some of those other players in development you talked about, going with more of a running style. Cruz Washington's been a great player, obviously. Yeah. What's it been like for you to coach him and implement him into the offense?
It's been interesting, and I think implement him into the offense is a good way to put it because, we have different styles of runners. We have Cruz, the 3 W's, really what they say, and we also have downtown in there, but Cruz Washington's kind of a shifty kind of guy. He's got the juice. He can make somebody miss in space on a dry field pretty good. Weathington's the bigger kid. He's going to be the mutter, and he's going to, be able to get 3 or 4 yards when it's tough to come by. And then Weekly kind of does a little bit of both. And we haven't really had to use Devin a whole lot, and that's a good thing because we're saving him. There's a reason why he's going crazy on defense right now too. Has 119 tackles or whatever it is. But I think being a 2A program, being 2 platooned, and spreading the ball around as much as we have been, it's tough for defenses to kind of concentrate on one guy.
And, Coach, tonight, not only would it be, if you win tonight, your 2nd straight sectional championship, it would also be your 50th win in your career. Tell me how what's been your thought process while you've spent your time here at Western Boone? You came in 2013, and just tell me about how you've built this program into the powerhouse it's been over the last couple of years.
That's a great question. It's interesting. 50 wins tonight. That's news to me. So that's interesting. If that tells you anything about, what I don't really look at that stuff. I've been so fortunate, though. My name's on the head coach, and that's it. I mean, my job is if we have an away game to get the kids on the bus, make sure they're there because some of these guys too. But, Travis Bruins, our defensive coordinator, from day one in 2013, he and I kind of blended together and meshed really well. And he needed me and I needed him because he's a defensive guy. I'm an offensive guy. And then you mix in Comer with the strength stuff. Then you have a guy like Coach Gadberry all these guys, I mean, the loyalty that those guys have had, and other guys too. You know, my dad comes out, Coach Baird, Coach Pearson, Coach Crouch, Coach McCloskey, but it starts with Webo was already a winning tradition, already had a winning tradition. So we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We just had to do, figure out, take our spin, what I like to do, what Coach Bruins like to do, and put that to action, I guess. And that's what we've done. But the biggest thing is just the buy-in from the kids and the support from the administration and the community. I think kids get excited for that. And it's a football school, but it can also be a basketball school and a baseball school and everything else. If we play our cards right, it's a fun place to teach. It's a fun place to coach. But just been really lucky. It's got very little to do with me.
Your father, you talked about your father helping coach. He was coach over at Speedway for many years and is now in the Hall of Fame for coaching here in Indiana. How helpful has it been having him on staff and having his guidance around the players and the young guys?
I think it's really neat because what he's been able to do is kind of take a step back and coach those guys that are kind of fly under the radar. That's kind of his. That's what he likes to do. He likes to take those kids that are not the guys getting all the stats. He likes to keep those kids maybe middle of the pack, involved a little bit. And then it's funny because once those guys turn juniors or seniors, they end up playing a little bit. But it's so fun to have him on the sideline, and I think that's something I'll cherish much more down the road, that he comes out to practice a couple days a week, and we don't interact too much, and we don't need to on the field. I call him all the time, every day I probably talk to him, and we talk about football. So it gives us something to talk about. And it's been a blessing to have him on the sideline. I think he's having a lot of fun too.
Big family atmosphere here at this Western Boone team. Coach, thank you for sitting down with me and talking. Good luck. And hopefully you can come out with a win tonight and get your 50th.
You got it. Keep doing what you guys are doing. It's awesome for the sport community. I still want our kids to come out to the game, hopefully, and then anybody else. I get it with can't make it to the game. Surely tune in. I hope you're watching right now, and we can make this thing work. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach. That's all here for the interview. Now back to halftime.
All right, we're back here at Western Boone Witham Health Field. Just taking a look at some of the stats. Western Boone's been dominating pretty much everything with the same amount of opportunities as North Putnam has had. Western Boone's had 13 first downs compared to North Putnam's 9. The Stars have 14 rushing attempts for 73 yards compared to the 10 rushing attempts for only 14 yards for the Cougars. So they're just a 4-carry difference, and Western Boone's able to dominate that almost 7 times as much as what the Cougars are turning out on the ground. Western Boone, 5.2 average yards per rush compared to the 1.4 for the Cougars. As I mentioned, it's just a huge differential in Western Boone's favor. We haven't seen Brett Wethington out on the field yet. Kind of leads you to wonder if we're going to see him at all tonight. With a game this high, they might just rest him as they did the George Washington game, save him up for next week's regional showdown, barring a miracle here. Western Boone, 13 passes, 13 completed on 18 attempts for 1 interception, as I mentioned, and I believe that's 3 touchdowns. North Putnam with 11 passes completed, 20 attempts, so very similar to Western Boone's, except they've thrown for 3 interceptions so far in the game. Looking at some of the individual stats, Spencer Wright, as I mentioned, 13 for 17, 199 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns. Joe Hendricks with 6 catches for 109 yards on the receiving end. Next guy down is Logan Benson with 3 for 48. This is all for the Stars. North Putnam's guys, they've got Davies going 9 for 18, 50% completion percentage. Actually higher than what his season total is. 66 total yards compared to almost 200 for Spencer Wright. On the receiving end, number 12, Lucius Alexander for North Putnam, leading his team in the category with just 3 catches for only 24 yards. Very abysmal receiving attack so far here throughout the game. A lot of underthrown passes from the quarterback. Rushing for Western Boone, Cruz Washington been lighting it up with 9 rushes for 54 yards. A touchdown on the ground, a touchdown in the air. Spencer Wright, the quarterback, also ran 4 times for 21 yards, and Luke Cronodle had the other rush for -2 yards after Cruz Washington was able to shake and bake for a nice 5-yard gain. For North Putnam, they've had 2 guys rushing the ball consistently. Number 21 for North Putnam, the Cougars running back, is Aiden Baker, and he's got 5 rushes for 15 yards. Also, the 1,000-yard rusher for North Putnam, that is Chris Murray. He's got 5 rushes for -1 yard. So very abysmal rushing attack as well for North Putnam, as you can tell by the score being 0-28. Very impressive offensive showing here so far for Western Boone. Maybe even more impressive is the way their defense has held up, as I mentioned, leading this North Putnam team to a very bad outing here throughout the night. And we'll take a quick break here, just 2 minutes and 30 seconds left until the end of half. We'll see you in a bit.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana? No matter what their goals might be, study hard, always do your best, and if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back here to Western Boone High School. The Western Boone return team is out on the field with Joe Hendricks and Cruz Washington back to return it for the Stars to begin second half action. Oh, an interesting formation there for the Cougars as they come out to kick it away.
Yeah, I meant to tell you that, Colin. Here throughout the year, that's been the formation they've used. I don't know why they haven't really done a whole lot with it, but that's just the way they've been lining up on kickoff throughout the year.
All right, here Joe Hendricks fumbled the football, picks it back up, rushing along the left side. He's got blocks in front of him. He gets strung down, and the ball flies out of bounds on a fumble.
That was a close one. Luckily, it went out of bounds.
Wow, very close.
Now, Hendricks is rolling on the ground. That's not very good to see.
He's usually gone down a little bit with some injuries, but he always finds a way to get back in the football game. I'm sure it's nothing too bad.
Yeah, and with that official's timeout, Colin, we'll take a quick timeout up here in the booth and be back in a minute.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And hello, welcome back here to Western Boone High School. Joe Hendricks still being looked at. He's being lifted up by Coach Pelly right there on the sideline. He's been dealing with some cramps here throughout the injuries, as Nathaniel said to me earlier in the break. He's going to walk to the sideline on his own power with a little help from Pelly. And he's going to sit out for a couple plays, but I'm sure he'll find a way back in this football game. He's been a big-time target here tonight from Spencer Wright. A couple touchdown passes caught by him.
Yeah, I mean, he's scored half of this game's points, so it's very pivotal to see that he gets back in.
And with the 11:53 mark showing here in the third quarter to begin action.
Senior Peyton Young's in to replace him at the bottom of your screen in the slot.
There we go, right. Hand off to Washington, up the middle, breaking his way forward, splits the defenders. Cruz Washington is gone. Touchdown, Western Boone. One play later, Cruz Washington breaks away for his second rushing touchdown of the night.
Puts in another three. The trifecta brings the score up already. What is it, 35-0 pending this extra point. And that's what we've seen all throughout the year. Number 13 on the ground for him.
Wow. Unbelievable running from Cruz Washington. Came into this game with 11 rushing touchdowns, 75 carries for 766 yards. His longest run was 74 yards. And right there, Elliott Young sends the extra point through. It's good. Western Boone takes a 35-0 lead here.
Here's the replay, just right up the middle. Great blocking, and he just turns on the speed, splits through to the defenders, and just does what he's been able to do all year. Just turn on the speed and get a huge gain.
Wow. Unbelievable speed from Washington. And just, wow. That offensive efficiency that Pelly has been able to run. They lose Hendricks, and it looked like they were going to probably have some trouble going down the field, but they give it to Washington, and Washington just leaves everyone in the dirt or the mud. The field is looking a little wet out there. We did have some rain here earlier in the past few weeks. Western Boone played on a muddy field against Tipton. That was last week. They came away with that second-round sectional victory to make it here to the sectional championship. Right here, Peyton Young ready to go. Kick it up. Nathaniel, how good is it to have a reliable running back like Cruz Washington?
Well, it's amazing to have a guy who can put up scores and stats like this, but what's even better is that they've got 1, 2, and even 3 guys even behind him who can pick up the slack when he falls down. We haven't even seen powerhouse running back number 16, Brett Wellington, yet, nor have we seen number 20, Dylan Brown, the senior, because Washington's just able to put up the board. They're not going to take him out if he's got the hot hand, unless they take the rest of the starting offense out here to bring in some second stringers.
And right here, that kick is away. That's corralled by Jordan Pope. And Pope slowing down right about the 30-yard line. That's a short return there for the Cougars. That'll set up first down and 10 for Davis and company.
Quick little shout out to the Mexico Travelers for Western Boone. They've spent the last few days studying Day of the Dead in the Yucatan Peninsula, and I know a few of them, if not all of them, right now are watching the stream from Mexico.
Yeah, hola from Mexico. Thanks for tuning in here, people. We're going international now.
You're driving.
Here we go. First down and 10. Throw out of the backfield. That's caught by Murray. Murray gets slung down by Devin Weekley. Weekley able to get to the football quickly. Weekley using his speed. He's a very short guy, but he makes a lot of tackles. He gets there to save the first down yardage. That's going to bring up a second down and about a yard. Here we go. Let's see what the Cougars decide to do here on second down and short. They go gun formation, 3 receivers out to the left side, dropping back to pass. Looking that way as Davies fires it out of the backfield, and it's incomplete. Out on the bubble route there, trying to get it to the flat. Dropped by Murray.
Today during the Western Boone Pep session, senior safety Peyton Young was announcing some kind of funny superlatives for the seniors, and they gave number 2 Devin Weekley most likely to lead the team in tackles but not able to reach the height requirement on a roller coaster. And you can see him on your screen. That's funny how physical he is, even though he doesn't have the height. He makes up for it in brains and in strength.
He's a very smart football player, being scouted by a few schools. And right here, sneak up the middle, and looks like he's really close to the first down marker. I believe they are going to give it to him, and yes, they will. Right there to the fullback. That's Samford, excuse me, Luke Samford. There with the carry for the first down yards, about a couple on the play. Here we go. Let's see what North Putnam decides to do. Here's Davies coming back to the huddle, facing first down and 10 with the ball on the 40-yard line of the near side hash.
Calling up 35-0 in the third quarter. You got to wonder when they're going to pull the starters out and put the second and third stringers in.
I feel like they'll want to bury this one quickly. Right here, out is Murray. Murray is grabbed and the ball flies out. Let's see who recovered it. Western Boone recovers the fumble. Western Boone will take over first and 10. The fumble forced by Luke Marsh. Wow, what looked like a big gain for the Cougars ends in heartbreak for that drive. Another turnover. The turnover bug has really bitten North Putnam here in this game.
Luke Marsh has been splitting starting reps with number 13, the cornerback, Logan Benson, and he's the only sophomore to be mixed in with these juniors and seniors on the starting defense, and he's been a big contributor throughout the year.
There's a big reason for that. His older brother was one of the best middle linebackers on this Western Boone football team. He developed nicely in this system, and he helped lead Western Boone to a conference championship title in 2015.
That trips formation at the bottom of your screen.
Here we go. Let's see what Wright does on first down. They hand it off to Washington, trying to break it to the outside of the right, and he gets across the numbers down just before he could reach the 40-yard line. He's going to be brought down right at about the 41. And Duncan was right there to make the tackle for the Cougars. Noah McClendon will step out, and McAtee will step in. Connor Hull will also come in for Peyton Young.
Calling a quick update, Cecina just scored, bringing the score Triton Central 27, Cecina 26 in the third quarter.
Yeah, still a close one there. Cecina fighting their way back into that one, as we expected. Right here in the heavy formation, Washington is down. He's going to take it right up the middle, trying to work his way out to the left side. He gets down right at about the 40. And that's Samford right there to make the tackle.
Now after last play's substitutions, number 21, Joe Hendricks, still on the sideline after suffering the leg injury. They had number 18, Peyton Young, come in. He was replaced by number 24, Connor Hull, the playmaker on defense.
And here we go. Third down and 5. Here's Dylan Brown in the game now, getting his first call tonight.
His hand in the dirt, tight formation left side, heavy set right side.
And off Washington, actually, Wright kept it, and he flung it out to the outside for Kernodle. Kernodle has a lot of space to go.
One man.
Touchdown.
Nice
touchdown, Luke Kernodle. Wow, what a play fake by Spencer Wright. Kept it, and he got it out to Kernodle.
Right about the 10-yard line, Colin. Number 13, Logan Benson, just reaches out and gets a nice block, saves the touchdown. His left arm just flung out and knocked the guy out of contention for the tackle. Now, number 13, Logan Benson, is walking out on the sideline holding his arm.
Logan Benson threw a key block, and right here comes Elliot Young. Try to get the PAT good. Stars leading 41-0. 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And the extra point is up, and it is good. Western Boone dominating this one. Let's get a look at the replay here.
Some more replay troubles. Don't think we'll be able to pull this one in.
Well, unfortunately, replay not working out well again.
It's coming in back and forth, Colin. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, all in due time. At least we can see what's going on the field. That's really more about what the folks care about, is seeing what's going on the field.
On that last touchdown play, however, you had Chris Murray, who was the defender, running to the right side, trying to stop the touchdown, was about to reach out and knock Kernodle out of bounds, and instead comes out of nowhere's 13. Logan Benson, as I mentioned, just stiff arms him to get him out of contention for the tackle.
Here comes Peyton Young right at the 40-yard line, ready to tee it up and kick it away from the far side hash mark. They're leading 42-0 here in this sectional championship matchup, the first ever matchup between the Western Boone Stars and the North Putnam Cougars. Here in sectional 38. North Putnam fought their way through the first two rounds to get here. They haven't won a sectional title since 2010. They've been looking to get that one, but it doesn't look like they're probably going to get that one here tonight.
No, instead, Western Boone will repeat as the sectional champions, barring some dramatic chain of events here.
Never know, Nathaniel. Anything can happen in football. And
Go
right
figure.
here he goes is Murray. Murray gets across the 45 down to the 46. Wow. Peyton Young, the kicker, was there to make the tackle and save the touchdown run back from Murray.
Right now, Lapel leads Shenandoah 21-14 in the third quarter.
Thank you, Nathaniel, for the scoring update.
That one comes from Andy Hoskins, as the rest of them have. Thanks to him for sending all those in here throughout the season. Very thankful that we're able to have someone like him giving us these updates.
Thank you, Andy. Here's Davies. First down and 10 on the 46. Western Boone showing blitz. They back it off. Davies looks to the sideline along with the rest of his players.
You can tell it's coming. You had 32 Benson and 16 Wethington jumping in and out on the line, and they do both run right at him.
And right here the pass is caught. And coming back inside, right there is Colton Clifford. He was leveled down by 33 Cortez Stoudemire.
They're on defense. They got the signal from Bruins to pin their ears back at the quarterback. And number 32, Josh Benson, went in and got blocked by the guard. However, 16 Wethington had a clear lane. Another maybe half a second, and the quarterback would have been on his butt.
Yeah, Travis Burns likes to use those linebackers in the blitz. Right here, Wethington's going to come in. He's unblocked, slides down, and Davies, feeling the pressure, just missiles one into the dirt. And he felt it from Wethington. Wethington fell down in the backfield trying to get to Davies. And right there, Davies thought he was going to take a big pop. Just threw it incomplete.
Yeah, number 16, chasing after 16, felt some of the mud on this field. We've had some rough rain here the last few weeks. Definitely made for some sloppy conditions on the field. It showed there.
It's third down and 4 here with the ball on the 48-yard line. Man in motion for the Cougars. Western Boone showing blitz again from Wethington. Wethington backs off. Davies looking back to the sideline. Now he gets reset. Empty backfield for him. Claps his hands, and a timeout is going to be taken by the Cougars. Wow, they didn't get what they wanted there on that play, and they're going to take the timeout here. We'll take a timeout as well.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana, no matter what their goals might be? Study hard, always do your best, and if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And here we go. Welcome back to Western Boone High School, Witham Health Field. And right here we go. The Cougars facing 3rd down and 4 with 8:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. They got 2 receivers split out to the right side, 3 to the left. Pressure coming from Western Boone. They get it out in the flat route. And right there, the Western Boone defense is all over it. Dietz Holdorf, the defensive tackle, able to get out there, make the stop. Well, the Stars right there, they hold strong, and they force 4th down.
Holdorf comes into the game with 17 tackles for a loss. He's got knacks so far, first-year starter, just putting his ears back for the guy in the backfield. Very successful so far throughout the night, second only to Devin Weekly on the season for tackles for loss.
And here we go with the Cougars, 4th down and 4. On that last play, went nowhere. All right, here's Davies. Pressure coming, fires it over the middle, intercepted again!
Number 4.
Wow, intercepted.
4th interception from Davies, caught by number 32, Benson.
That's Benson,
Josh Benson, the junior. His older brother also plays.
Yeah, it's Logan Benson, his older brother. Josh Benson right there. That's the capitalizing effect with the defense. The defense, this is probably their most takeaways in a game all season.
It is. Let's see what personnel group Justin Pelley, the coach, trots out onto the field.
4 interceptions and a fumble recovery by the Stars defense. And right here, let's see. There's a few changes here outside in new offensive lineman. That's Josh Fennell, a senior. Wright is still out there to lead the group. Cronodle goes in motion. Hand off to Brown up the middle, and Brown chucks his way forward for about 4 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down.
So as I mentioned earlier, Cecina got the 6 points off of a touchdown. They did kick their extra point, tie the game up 27-27 against Triton Central. Triton Central with a ball now. We'll see if they are going to be able to put any points up on the board here on this next drive.
We knew Cecina was going to probably fight back into that one after Triton Central came out and punched him in the mouth. And you can never count a team like Cecina out. They've been very dominant here in the class of 2A. They thwarted Western Boone last season in the round of regionals. Right here on the outside is Connor Hull. Hull stiff arms the defender, breaks a tackle, splits the defenders, and goes out of bounds right close to the 47-yard line. Big gain on the play, picks up the 1st down for the Stars. They're running out of that heavy set again, Nathaniel. Coach Pelley likes to use that set, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Usually he has number 16, Wethington, in on those, but instead he's going to let Wethington sit this game out, and at least on offense, and just take a break for a week.
And well, let's see how the Cougars respond defensively. They've allowed 42 points tonight with not really any help from their offense. They've been on the field quite a bit trying to deal with these receivers of Western Boone and the running backs. Right here in the heavy set, McClendon goes out wide. Cronodle in motion. Hand off to Brown up the middle, shifting his way forward through the defense into the secondary. And he goes down. Big 9-yard carry on the play. And he's probably a half-yard short of the 1st down. And they will mark it just a half-yard short. Get all the way down to about the 43-yard line. Wow, big running from Dylan Brown.
Yeah, I'll set up 4th and 1 here. So far throughout the year, Dylan Brown's averaged 6.2 yards a carry. That one went for farther than that. And it's just some great blocking up front.
Dylan Brown came into this one with 48 carries for 297 yards. And right here he's going to get the call again, and a flag comes in. It's going to be a false start against Western Boone.
Oh, and that's going to hurt him. I know the play was called dead, but he was way past the line of scrimmage before the play stopped.
And, well, we're going to get a repeat of downs here, and it's going to bring them back 5 yards off the nice run from Dylan Brown. So it's going to be about 2nd down and 5. Here we go. Ball's on the 48-yard line. In the heavy formation again. Cougars stacking the box. Oh, and a man moved for Western Boone. It looks like that was McClendon on the outside. And that's another 5-yard penalty.
He's kicking himself for that. They were right in range to pick up the first down, and instead now they're 10 yards back from where they were just 2 plays ago. And silly mistakes.
Michael Rice is going to step in for the senior, Josh Fennell, getting some action here tonight. Josh Fennell also got a senior superlative that might be interesting. Most likely to not care about what's going on. And that basically sums up Josh Benson right there, or excuse me, Josh Fennell. A lot of Joshes on this team right here. Nice run from Dylan Brown, lowering his shoulder across 1st down yardage. The penalties won't matter as Brown puts the team on his back and carries them for a 1st down run.
Yeah, disregard everything we just said about these penalties hurting him. Dylan Brown just puts the team on his back and makes up for it all.
Wow, nice run there from Dylan Brown. He's a very reliable back, and we see why they like to use him. I mean, just unbelievable running here. It looks like Washington's probably going to take a seat on the sideline. He's had a very great performance here tonight. Big bounce-back performance from him off a game from Tipton. And right here, Brown once again with the run up the middle, shaking a few tackles, and he is brought down by number 12, Lucius Alexander.
Yeah, calling that last game against Tipton. Tipton was able to shut him down, only allowing 37 yards off 8 carries for 4.6 yards a carry. His longest run went for only 11 yards. That's not what we're accustomed to seeing from that young man. Transfer from Lebanon.
Yeah, I'd probably say that Washington earned his keep here at Western Boone. I mean, he came in, performed very well in his final year.
Sorry to interrupt. His first career touch was on a kickoff return, the first one of the game against Sheridan, and he fumbled it and gave it to the other team.
And right here's Brown, and there's a flag that's going to fly in. Let's see what happens. The play clock is marked dead. They get across the 30-yard line. Let's see what the call is.
A big part about football is having a short memory. You can't keep these flags, these fumbles, these drops in your head. You just got to move past it.
And right there, a penalty going against the Cougars. And it's going to set up the Stars with another 1st down. The face mask was the call. And 4:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. A lot of football left, but Western Boone already threatening to score inside the red zone again. Josh Fennell is back in the football game to fill in at that guard spot.
Just in the first round of sectionals, Western Boone won against George Washington 49-0. One more touchdown puts a score right at that mark.
And let's see what happens here. They're down to the 13-yard line of the Cougars. Certainly, I would probably say North Putnam's probably been shell-shocked right here.
One receiver out.
Let's see what Wright decides to do here under center.
Heavy set, right side.
Here we go. Hand off to Brown up the middle, carrying his way forward into the end
Still
zone.
Moving.
Close.
It's about the 2-yard line, it looks like. 2 to 3 yard line.
Yeah, they're going to mark it down pretty close.
Right in the middle of the 2. Marks it down to the 2.5.
Wow. Big running from Dylan Brown here. Couple of false start penalties against Western Boone earlier in this drive, and Brown ran for the 1st down. And right here, he's carried them all the way down inside the 5-yard line, right down to the 2. Here we go, heavy set, right side.
1st and goal. Left side, heavy set.
Hand off to Brown up the middle, trying to chug his way forward. He's in. Touchdown, Dylan Brown.
49-0, pending this extra point if they do make it. That score looks familiar. And you gotta wonder when these second and third string players are gonna come in. We've already seen them integrate a few guys in, like Connor Holzen. I mean, I know he's a starter on defense, but he usually doesn't get to play a whole lot of offense. We had Josh Fennell, as you mentioned. So we'll see what this offense looks like here on the next drive.
And right here, good running up the middle by Brown, but good blocking as well from the offensive line up front. They get good blocking up front anyway. Coach Gadberry, the offensive line coach, has done well. And right there, the extra point is good. So Western Boone takes a 42-0 lead here over the North Putnam Cougars. And we're going to try to get the replay here. Let's see if it works this time. And yes, it will finally. Here we go. Handoff right there up the middle to Dylan Brown. He had to muscle his way forward a little bit. Nevertheless, good blocking up front so far. And he puts 6 more on the board.
That blocking's about as good as you can get on the goal line. You had multiple people pulling and getting just big man blocks.
And yeah, let's see. The Western Boone's probably going to bring in their JV defense to go up against the very tall and very athletic quarterback Davies of the Cougars. He hasn't really performed well here tonight, thrown for about 4 interceptions, but nevertheless, I mean, he has still managed to make some big plays down the field against this defense.
Right now, Lapel is up 28-21 against the number 5 ranked Shenandoah, class of 2A sectionals.
And we'll keep checking in on that Cecina game in Triton Central, because whoever wins that one, Western Boone will most likely be facing them in the next round. It'll either be Cecina or Triton Central. If it's Triton Central, most likely, I'm not sure about this, we'll probably be back here at home. We'll be back here at home maybe. And then Cecina, it is made clear that we will travel to Cecina.
We have heard a lot of mixed theories from different people, some players, some coaches, just some spectators. I mean, so it's pretty confusing as to who we're going to face, but I think you're as close as we can get.
Yeah, I got word from Max Foxworthy if Triton Central pulled out the win that we would be here and Triton Central would travel here. So right there, the tackle made by Connor Hull on the run back from Scott Proctor. That's going to set up a first down for the North Putnam Cougars.
As they just announced, Tri-West right now just down the road leading 17-14 against Sullivan in their sectional championship. Tri-West beat Danville last week, the rivals, playing in the second round of sectionals.
Tri-West is always a greatly coached football team. I mean, they finished out the year, I believe it was about 6-3 or 7-3, I believe.
6-3, yeah.
And right here, and the sack is made by Andrew McAtee. McAtee got in there to make the big tackle, and he slung down number 21, Aiden Baker.
That's the third takedown this year in the backfield from Andrew McAtee. He's third on the team, that is, in sacks, and he's the edge rusher who's very good at getting pressure on the quarterback.
And another score. Actually, never mind. That's not a score update from football. It's actually girls basketball. So ignore that.
That'll come here in a few weeks.
Yeah, just popped up on my screen. Looking a little too ahead of ourselves, Finch. And right here, dropping back to passes. Davies steps up, fires it, and it is caught, hauled in right there by Proctor. And Peyton Young was there on the coverage trying to get him down. And looking at the score here, number 2A, number 3, Eastbrook, up 28-17 over Lewis Cass at the start of the fourth quarter. Thank you, Andy, for the score update.
Just a quick little shout out to the girls basketball team. They have their first game tomorrow at home. They asked us to broadcast, but unfortunately they waited a little too long, too short a notice for us to get a game together. So we will not be broadcasting that game against some of the basketball girls' wishes.
And right here we go on 3rd down and 10. Dropping back to pass. Davies looking long, and he fires complete. Nice complete over the middle to number 11, Kevin Barger. First time we called his name tonight. And he picks up the first down for the Cougars.
That was a nice play. I mean, I know Western Boone's up 49-0, but this is North Putnam's probably the toughest 49-0 score we've had so far throughout the year. Obviously, in the sectional championship, we knew that they would be. I just didn't think that the score would be this lopsided.
It's kind of a similar game than it was last season in the sectional championship. Western Boone traveled to Park Tudor and defeated them soundly to capture their first sectional championship since 2001.
The fans, we had a lot of our guys there at Park Tudor. Felt like, a lot of the players said it felt like home field advantage, even though we were way over in Park Tudor.
And yeah, it just shows you that these Western Boone fans really do travel well, and they'll sit out in any kind of element you can think of, whether it be rain, snow, sleet, or ice.
Except for the ones watching from home, obviously. Yeah. But
hey, we appreciate all the views we can get. We love having you on for tonight's broadcast, and it wouldn't be possible without you fans. And here we go, 1st down and 5. Hand off to Murray up the middle. Murray runs for the 1st down yardage. He maybe just
brought down by number 24, Connor Hull, the junior safety. Coming into the game, he's had almost 60 tackles, 40 of them solo and 20 of them assisted, with 3 tackles for loss, and he had his 3rd interception of the game today. Impactful player for Western Boone. I believe he was 2nd team.
And Nathaniel will take a look at that list there.
So right now, our PA announcer, Mr. Foxworthy, just announced that Triton Central kicked their field goal, bringing the score 27-30 in favor of Triton Central. Cecina with the ball now.
And right here, the handoff, a big run by Sanford. Sanford, the fullback, tucks the football and keeps on running forward for the 1st down yardage. He was finally upended by Cortez Stoudemire. Had to make the shoulder tackle down on Sanford's knees.
Kind of slow to get up, limping over to the huddle, but he is still going to remain in the play. He's been very effective tonight at short yardage, getting yards where they're hard to be found.
Here we go, the toss to the outside for Murray. Murray is going to be slung down by Brett Wethington, junior middle linebacker, paired up with Devin Weekly. And here we go. Let's see what happens here. Gain of about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down, and 30 seconds are ticking off the clock here in the 3rd quarter. Western Boone dominating this one 49-0 here in the sectional championship. Here we go, shotgun formation.
Shifts on the defensive line.
Here we go, quick pass out of the backfield, and the ball's tipped in the air, and it's nearly intercepted, broken up by Andrew McAtee.
McAtee had his nose for the ball the whole time. He was trying to rush off the edge, but he was blocked, so instead he looked up and just got his hand up trying to tip the pass. Nice heads-up play, even though he wasn't able to rush the quarterback. He was able to still keep his nose for the ball. Sets up 3rd and 8.
And right here we go, shotgun formation for the Cougars. Murray in the backfield. Davies drops back to pass. Slant route's open and is tipped in the air by Dietz Holdorf at the defensive line. That saves the 1st down throw. It's going to be 4th down and long.
Holdorf's very good at using his hands on the defensive line. He's good with the swim moves and the spins, and he's able to just evade the blocking and just reach his hands up and get another tip here tonight.
You mentioned swim moves. He did used to be a swimmer before he started playing football.
I believe he is swimming this year as well. He took a break from swimming last year, but he's back to swimming here for his senior year.
That's good for him. He's using those swim moves well. And here we go. 4th down for the Cougars.
7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
3 receivers to the outside. Pressure coming from Davies, and it falls incomplete. The Western Boone defense makes a big stand, and a flag will fly in.
On Josh Benson, most likely be roughing the passer on that late hit.
Wow, and Davies helps up Benson, and no hard feelings between the two. That's good sportsmanship there to help each other up, even though the penalty marker flew in. The Western Boone defense had a problem with hitting quarterbacks late. Last week against Tipton, they got quite a few penalties for roughing the passer.
Yeah, a lot of fans were unhappy with that. We had a lot of yelling and shouting at the refs last week. Hopefully it doesn't happen this week.
Well, it shouldn't, because we're up 49-0.
Well, at the time we were up 28-13 against Tipton, and these fans are blaming the refs for all these calls.
Boy.
But when it comes down to it, that is a great flag thrown, as that was truly a late hit. We looked at it as soon as Davies let go of the ball. Benson was 3 or 4 yards away. We followed the ball and looked back, and they were both laying on the ground at the star. So you can't really blame the refs for a lot of these calls.
Yeah, I couldn't really see what happened. I was more following the football on the outside. It was tipped in the air, so I wasn't really paying attention to the quarterback. But right here, handoff up the middle, and the ball is out. The ball is out. Somebody jumped on it. And Western Boone saying they got it.
Boone.
And they do. Their 6th takeaway of the game.
That's really similar to when North Putnam was driving the ball earlier in the second quarter, tossed one up in the red zone, and it got brought down by Connor Holt for the interception. That's just killing him. These red zone turnovers that's what leaves your team 0-49 at the end of the third quarter.
Wow, the end of the third quarter results in a fumble, and we're going to take a break here. You're listening to WBTV Sports.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana, no matter what their goals might be? Study hard. Always do your best. And if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
42 degrees and cloudy here in Boone County right now, as we've had favorable weather here throughout the game. The last couple weeks of rain has left the field a little roughed up, but that's all right because we've still been able to run. Both teams have been able to run on the ground.
And here we go. Under center is Elliott Young. Hand off up the middle to Robbie Taylor. And Robbie Taylor goes down. He scored a touchdown in the first week of sectionals against George Washington, I believe.
Robbie Taylor comes in the game. That's his 35th attempt. He's had over 230 yards, 7 yards a carry, 33 yards a game, even though he plays for JV. And he's been an impact player here once the starters go out.
We've paid attention to him a lot in the JV games because you and I used to call the JV games from the PA announcing side. And right here, another carry for Robbie Taylor to the outside.
What Taylor does best, sorry for interrupting you here, is he tucks the ball under, he drops his shoulder, and he just bulldozes everyone in his path.
That he does. I mean, he is a very tough runner and most likely going to be one of the best running backs here when he gets up to the varsity level after all the juniors and seniors retire. And right here we go. 10:55 left. Under center is Young. And on the outside toss, that's Caleb Iron. Iron slung down in the backfield. 24, Jordan Pope was there to make the tackle. And a nice run by Caleb Iron. Iron's a transfer as well. It's been a while since I've talked to him. I'm not really sure which school he came from, but he's been in the Western Boone system, and he's been a tough runner throughout his career on the JV level. And a punt team is out for Western Boone here on 4th down. And right here, the punt is going to be dropped. It's dropped. And trying to get him is Mitch Miller. Miller wasn't able to get him, and he's tracked down finally just before he could get back to the 45-yard line. Caleb Iron was there to make the tackle.
He got a gain of about 2 yards there, was pulled down by Miller, who evaded the tackle and just went and gained 2 more before he got hit by number 30, Iron.
There we go. Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line for the Cougars. North Putnam trying to score against this JV unit. Here's Davies. Comes out in the gun formation with 3 receivers split to his left side. Proctor's in the slot. And here we goes Davies. Pressure coming off the edge. Steps up in the pocket. Delivers one down the field and overthrows his receiver. Intended for number 4, Colton Clifford. And good coverage by the JV unit up short, but they had deep coverage blown.
So across the board with high passes, low passes, just off target throughout the game, we've seen, so far throughout the year, comes in the game with 78 attempts, 78 completions, 180 attempts. That's under 50% completion percentage. That is not what you want to see from your quarterback.
And right here, 9:50 to go, 2nd and 10 off the incomplete pass from Davies. Here's Davies, handoff to Murray. Murray running straight ahead, and he's chopped down by number 20, Dylan Brown, on the outside. Dylan Brown, referred to as Downtown Dylan Brown. It's because in his younger years he used to score a lot of touchdowns. On JV, he scored a lot of touchdowns as well, so everybody called him Downtown.
He actually has Downtown written on his letter jacket.
It's actually pretty funny. I didn't know that. So here we go. 3rd down and 8 out of the gun. Murray with the carry up the middle, working his way over a few Western Boone defenders, and they're going to chop him down just before he could get to the 1st down marker. That's going to set up 4th down. 9 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Most likely just going to let this one tick away. 49-0 score. Western Boone on top, looking to claim their 2nd straight sectional championship title. Right here, Murray again with the carry. Tackled down by number 67. That's Kopic. Number 67, Andrew Kopic. Older brother Bryce Kopic used to play here at Western Boone.
For those of you wondering, we do plan on keeping the camera on the boys on the field as they celebrate here with 8 minutes left their sectional championship win.
And right here, Davies back to pass, and it's tipped, nearly intercepted by Austin Bowman. Wow, just fell right through his hands, and it is a little cold out there, Nathaniel, so it makes catching the football just a little bit harder. Right there, Austin should have come up with that one.
So far throughout his varsity season this year, obviously he's coming in with the JV players, but he's been the guy who's been getting these interceptions when he comes in during these Friday night games.
Close enough right there. It's going to be 2nd down for Davies. He'll probably look to go deep again. He's had a few receivers open down deep. Here's Davies. He's going to take it himself. Quarterback keeper. He's slung down right at the line of scrimmage by number 31, Clayton Highsong. Highsong saves the 1st down run. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Wow, nice stand here by this JV defense against this Cougar offense. Sorry about that, my voice is going a little dry. I'll get some water in a minute.
This Western Boone team's got some big men down on the defensive line, very physical here for the JV squad.
And right here they go, handoff up the middle to Murray. Murray still driving his way forward, and the Western Boone defense is all over it. Wow. Rallying to the football. Good job there by the Western Boone JV unit.
We had 5 or 6 guys getting on the tackle. Number 67, Latham, the defensive lineman, was stepped on as he tried to get up, and that's kind of what some of these fans were complaining about, the no call there.
And down here, caught on the slant route by Colton. And right there, Colton Clifford, able to make the reception. And that picks up the 1st down for the Cougars. So the Cougars driving down the field. The last drive resulted in a turnover.
On this part of the field, too, inside the 20-yard line.
Ooh, and a nice hit there.
Popped.
Nice
Number
hit
80,
there.
Baker Island.
That's Jason Baker right there with the hard hit on the running back, Murray. Wow.
Baker's a very physical player. That's why he coined himself the nickname Baker Island there on the outside here during the JV games.
I remember when I used to play football, he was a freshman, and I was a sophomore, and he came in, and he always referred to himself as Baker Island because he always wanted to take on the best receiver in practice and shut them down and put them on an island, as they say. Right here to the outside is Davies. Davies tries to work his way back inside, and right there to make the tackle. A couple of Western Boone defenders.
That was number 20, Dylan Brown, the senior, mixed in with some of these guys on the tackle. Dylan Brown came into the game with only 14 tackles, split it even, 7 solo, 7 assisted, but he has had 3.5 tackles for a loss.
And
he doesn't start defense.
Here we go on the second down run, and touchdown for the Cougars. North Putnam finally gets on the board off the touchdown run from number 23, Chris Murray.
Colin, we've got a big update here. Triton Central just intercepted Cecina for the 4th time and now has the ball on Cecina's 48-yard line in their own territory here in the 4th quarter.
Wow. What a good stand by the Triton Central defense. Nice job, boys.
Just kind of calling out Cecina here. You're not going to be able to win a game. At least you're not going to be able to dominate a game with 4 interceptions.
I'm going to quote a very famous character in the NFL world, Jim Mora. And if you have 5 turnovers, you should not win a football game.
Unless, of course, you force 5 turnovers.
Yeah. And right here, fullback carry by Sanford, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. Sanford makes it a 49-8 ball game. North Putnam finally gets on the board against this JV unit.
Keeps himself out of a goose egg on the board with 6 minutes left in the game. Scores 49-8, Western Boone's favor.
Well, just 6 minutes left to go. I have a feeling they're just going to try to run the ball out here as much as they can. And North Putnam, you came into Western Boone, you fought hard, tried your best, and credit to you guys for making it all the way to the sectional championship. And, you know, you'll keep looking for that sectional championship title. It's been so elusive for the last 8 years, but eventually you guys will get there, and you guys will break in to get one. So far, congratulations. And I'm looking over on the other side of the North Putnam sideline. I see their fans clapping for their boys. I see them cheering them on. And that's always good to see. It's always good to know that you have the support of your hometown, much like Western Boone does here in this community. Built a very strong community here at Western Boone. And head coach Justin Pelly has preached nothing but family. The family atmosphere here has been the big marquee of Western Boone. And here we go. The second time tonight, the Cougars will be kicking off here. The first time we've seen Skylar Warren ready to kick it away.
Keep an eye on this formation, Colin.
Yeah, it's interesting because they run at the football and they stop and they walk all the way back. Here we goes Warren, ready to set it up. Right at the 40-yard line, right in the middle. And that kick is away deep. Returning it, Casey Baird was there to try and make the return. It's going to be returned by Jaden Bailey out to the outside, stiff-arming a defender, and he goes down across the 25, close to the 25. And Jaden Bailey with a nice run back. Set up a 1st and 10.
Now 6 minutes and even left on the board. You got to imagine just run plays here on out. Taylor up the middle.
And here we go. Let's see what the JV unit can do here. 6 minutes left in this football game before Western Boone will capture their 2nd straight sectional championship. Elliott Young is back in the backfield along with Robbie Taylor. Robbie Taylor ran hard on the last drive. Weren't able to pick up the 1st down. Highsong had to punt. Casey Baird on the motion to the outside. Taylor's going to take the handoff up the left side and chopped down by the Cougars' defensive front. Number 73 was in on that tackle. That's Bryce Smith for the Cougars. And Jordan Pope was there as well. So here we go. 2nd down and about 8. And we just got the word that Fishers was defeated tonight. So that puts an end to their state championship aspirations. 5:25 to go here. And the quarterback keeper by Young. Young has a few blockers in front of him, and he's going to be ripped down by the defensive front of the Cougars. 5:15
and counting nicking off the board right now. 30 seconds left on the play clock. You got to imagine this team's going to try to run out as much time as possible, waiting till that play clock ticks down below 5.
They've shaved a whole minute off the clock here. 4:57 to go in the ball game. This one is pretty much put out of reach, and the hopes of a comeback for the North Putnam Cougars are thwarted. There's just not enough time left. Here we go. 3rd down. Hand off to Taylor, jumping his way forward into the second level of the defense, and he's finally brought down. Right there to bring him down, number 24, Jordan Pope. Nice tackle by Pope.
Yeah, Robert Green, the sophomore, was also in on the stop, as they had 2 or 3 guys there bringing Taylor down, and it takes 2 to 3 guys to bring down a guy like that.
And it's going to bring up 4th down, like Finch said, 4th down and 4. 49-8 ball game. Western Boone on top after an offensive explosion led by Spencer Wright and Cruz Washington. And Clayton Highsong with a nice punt all the way down inside the 30. It's going to take a bounce toward the sideline down to about the 27, maybe the 26-yard line. Wow. Right in between the hash marks of the 27 and the 26. A big punt from Clayton Highsong.
That was down by number 11, Mitch Miller. And here he's a freshman. He's very athletic, a big contributor on the JV team. And we're excited to see what he can do here in the next few years. He has a bright future ahead of him on this high school team.
I'm going to try to look at some other scores here and get you the updates. Yes, Tri-West up 24-14 over Sullivan. Also, Brebeuf Jesuit, they are up 42-7 in the 4th quarter against Blackford. Carmel up 21-14 at the half over Jefferson. And Bishop Satard up 42-6 over Indian Creek. And those are some of the scoring updates from around the state. So it looks like Davies is done for the night right here. A new quarterback in the game. And right there, a nice set down by Caleb Iron. On the running back, number 23, that's Chris Murray. And the new quarterback stepping in, Maverick Summers. Stepping in for Evan Davies.
Triton, the Cecina game, I have an update. Cecina, 33, Triton Central 30, less than 2 minutes to play.
Wow, close one going on there. Triton Central holding on with Cecina. But knowing Cecina, they're not going to let one slip away easily.
Tri-West will also win against Sullivan, 24-14, less than 2 minutes to play in that game, and that'll be a sectional championship for that school.
Oh, and right there, the Cougars get the Stars defense to jump, and they're going to get a free 5 yards out of this on 2nd down.
We'll wait the call from the refs. It appears to be offsides. Flag on the field.
Also, if any of you are Pacers fans, the Pacers have cut down an 18-point deficit to go up on the Bulls at halftime, 60-58. Oh, wow, that's actually going to be brought back on the Cougars, so the Cougars are going to lose 5 yards here on the false start.
Rolling the clock, 3 minutes and 10 seconds and dropping off the board. 2nd down and 16 now after that flag.
Well, if you're the Cougars, you came in, you fought hard in an enemy house, and it was a tough beating, but they held in there for most of the game. They just keep fighting right here.
Drops it.
Fumble by Maverick Summers, and Summers jumps on it. He's going to dive forward for maybe a yard or probably lose a half yard on the play, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 17.
2 minutes and 30 seconds ticking off the board. 25 seconds left on the play clock after that fumbled snap. Good thing North Putnam was able to stay on it. Hopefully they can mount some kind of a drive here to put some more points up on the board. Obviously the game's out of reach.
And here we go. Handoff outside for Murray. Murray trying to chug his way forward. Maybe he gets a yard or two on the play. And Chris Murray gets up to 4th down yardage. That's going to be a long 4th down coming, and a timeout is going to be taken. It's an official timeout. And it's 1 minute and 52 to go here in this game.
We'll take a quick timeout here on WBTV Sports.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, hello, welcome back to Western Boone High School with 1:42 to go until the sectional championship trophy will be turned over to the Western Boone team. And right here, the punt is coming from the Cougars, and looking to field it is Mitch Miller. Miller shakes a few tackles. He breaks free. Down to the outside is Mitch Miller. Nice return there from Miller. He's slung down by number 24. That's Jordan Pope. Wow.
Jordan Pope's one of the leading tacklers on this team. He has over 60 tackles on the year, about 40 solo tackles, 25 assisted, and 2 sacks so far this year.
And the Western Boone student section is making their way to the gate to storm the field. And all the football players are huddled up together closely. And it looks like they're probably just going to kneel this one out and maybe run a play or two and then kneel it out. There's 1:22 to go here in the ball game. 1st and 10 with Young out on the field. And yes, they will get in victory formation. And looking for the quarterback. Here comes Elliott Young. Not sure why he had to go to the sideline. They're in victory formation.
I almost thought Robbie Taylor was going to take the snap.
Yeah. And he waits on the exchange right there. He drops it dead. Clock is going to roll here. 1:19 to go. And that is probably going to do it here. That's it. Western Boone.
They will need to run one more play call. There's 30 seconds left on the play clock.
We'll let the time tick out here.
40. They may need to run 2 more plays depending on how this next one goes. Still awaiting here. They've got about 10 seconds left on the play clock. 45 as you can see on the board. Down to 7. 4 seconds.
Here we go, 40 seconds left.
1, they drop it.
Yep, and
that'll be enough. That's under 40 seconds.
So that is it. Western Boone is going to capture their 2nd straight sectional championship, and head coach Justin Pelly will reach his 50th win tonight. Congratulations to the Western Boone football team.
The boys in blue walking on the 50-yard line are the latest sectional 38 champions. 2nd in a row. Bring them out the wood. Final score 49-8. Great dominant performance from this Western Boone team.
And most likely going to move on to probably play Secina. Secina is up 34-30.
Secina did win. That's the end of the game. Secina with the win.
Well, Secina barely pulled it out. Triton Central gave them a fight. They picked off, well, it sounds like they picked off Mac Ayers 4 times in that win.
Western Boone next week's going to have to do something similar to that. Very nice ball hawking defense so far throughout the year. They will need to get a lot of turnovers here next week.
Yeah, Secina gave them a lot of trouble the last time these two teams faced off, and Spencer Wright was a very young quarterback and very inexperienced, but his numbers have soared this season, and he has really set a new standard for Western Boone quarterbacks in the way they're supposed to play. And he is going to look to lead this team into Secina next week. We will travel to Secina next week to cover the game. Tonight's broadcast, thank you all for supporting Western Boone Broadcast. And we're going to stay on here and allow coverage for the bringing out of the sectional championship trophy here in sectional 38. Thank you again. I'm Colin Bruns alongside Nathaniel Finch. We're going to leave it here, so feel free to stay and just view.
We will be back here in a little bit with some stats once we get a chance.
And yeah, Nathaniel will take care of that. But in the meantime, I'm signing off here. I'm Colin Bruns, joined by Nathaniel Finch. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Please stick around for the presentation of the sectional championship trophy.
Stay tuned for stats. We'll have them here in a minute. You see the sectional trophy there held by the likes of Schallenberger, Weekly, Washington. Very great performance so far here throughout the year. Undefeated Stars going into regionals, playing Cecina next week. We'll have stats for you here in a minute. I am back here with a box score of the game. First half, Western Boone scored 7 in the first quarter, 21 in the second quarter, and then no scores until the end when North Putnam hit that 8-pointer, and Western Boone scored the rest of theirs. Very solid performance from Western Boone, dominating 49-8 win. Cruz Washington, top player of the game with 125 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a receiving touchdown. Joe Hendricks with 109 receiving yards and a touchdown. Right now, pretty much the song of the football team, Country Roads Take Me Home, is being played over the PA. I'll continue here. First quarter run was Cruz Washington, 29-yard electric run, and then he had Washington preceded that with an 18-yard touchdown pass from Spencer Wright, and a 37-yard pass went from Wright to Hendricks in the second quarter. Third quarter opened up with a 65-yard run from Cruz Washington. Huge gain by him. Washington came into the year. 74 was his longest. Lucas Kernodle, the tight end, had a 40-yard run. Also a great play. I remember number 13, Benson, with a nice block to set up that touchdown. And there towards the end of the game, Dylan Brown also had his 2-yard run. Great play, great dominating game from Western Boone as they're able to dominate all facets of the ball. And they're definitely going to keep their eyes here on Cecina here for the next week, trying to get revenge after last year's loss, excuse me. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that game goes. We are planning on broadcasting that next week. Wherever the game will be played, I believe it'll be at a Cecina location. So I guess that'll be it here for me up here at WBTV Sports. Colin Bruins and I calling the game. We'll see you guys next week against the
Take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.